And this is one of the Social Butterfly Club fall events, so thank you for being here. And next to me we have a fabulous speaker. And as you know, some of you were here last week. We bring out very practical speakers that help us in every aspect of our life, whether it's business or personal development or relationships. And all of us, have relationships, whether it's with our romantic partners or with friends. And what Heather is bringing is actually going to be quite a breakthrough. And she's teaching EFT, which is
tapping.
Tapping, yeah. Have you guys heard of Louise Hay? She does tapping. So if you've seen her do that, and what it is emotional freedom technique. So very simple technique that can actually help you release yourself from past traumas or hang-ups or any of that and really create a bright, beautiful future. So she also has a master's degree in education and has many years of experience as a massage therapist with her mobile massage business. But she's here to share her wisdom. So I will turn the table over to her. Let's give her a big hand. Heather Donaldson.
Deep down, if you ask, you probably would say, if I offered this to you right now with your sushi, if I offered you a nice, close, fulfilling, joyful relationship and intimacy, you'd probably say, yes, I'll have some of that. Right? So tonight my goal is to introduce you to how to make your dating experience and choice of partners and your relationships more safe bet. Using the best advice and the tools that work and that don't waste your time. These days, I think there's, you don't have to worry so much about survival and, what couples or grandparents were struggling with, and you can actually go deeper into what I call an epic relationship, where you've got this synergy going, and you just go to different heights of expansion within your relationship. If you look in the ancients, like in energy work, you read about a lot of this. There's tantric and some of the Taoist practices and the art of love, which we don't know anything about in this generation, right? But maybe some of you have read it. But if you have, it's mind-blowing. It's like, wait a minute, and what are we doing? So I think some of it is going back, and the tapping itself is bringing the actual tapping part of it, where you're tapping into energy meridians, is bringing back or bringing in some of the ancient practices where people were more in tune and in touch with the natural flow of energy of their bodies, and the lines or the meridians. There's one meridian corresponding to each kind of emotion that might be disturbing, like anger, fear, sadness. And so by doing that whole sequence of tapping points, you're actually accessing each and all of the meridians that would be affecting you. Tool. I was talking to some of you about this idea of resetting or getting back in balance, where you're not all, heartbroken over a breakup or something. And there's many ways you can do it. You can do what's that movie where the guy just ran? Forrest Gump. Yeah, he didn't know how to do this, so he ran. And there's other people that do a lot of yoga or meditation. But some of that, they don't have all that time like Forrest Gump had, or they're not into meditating. And this little trick that I'm going to show you, if you haven't already learned it, is something really accessible that anyone can do anywhere, anytime, and you get a quick calming. Researched and compiled and summarized in something that wouldn't take much time, the best of the best advice. And I worked with people that had counseled thousands of couples on relationships, and also the research institutes like the Gottman Institute in Seattle. If you want to take notes about anything you look up online, that's a good one. They have a lot on their website, and some of the best ideas from that institute are in here. They're the people that could predict with 90% accuracy whether a relationship would work or not, just by looking at some interaction between the couple behind the screen.
How do you spell?
Gottman. Yeah, but as I say, I've made it easier for you by compiling it, and there's something this evening, and this is about finding love in your life, and even if not finding the love of your life, if you can bring more love in to your life, so you're expressing it more, feeling it more, there's many forms of love, as you all know, then naturally you will attract more. And the more you have, the more you give. The more you give, the more you get in there. Maybe put your hands on your heart space, on your chest there, and maybe just, to relax, you can take a nice breath into there. And just conjure up in your mind an object of your love. Everyone loves someone, even if it's your pet, could be your mother, could be your girlfriend, but clearly someone who you treasure. It's a love object or being. And just think of that one loved one. And notice how things change in your body, in your breath, in that space, in your heart. Just make them as real as possible, as if they're right there in front of you. You can maybe see them, or touch them, or smell them, interact, feel them. And notice if something softens in your being, in your muscles, in your body, in your heart space. You feel a little warmth there. And maybe breathe into that one more time. And then you can open your eyes again. The idea of authenticity. And I'm sure you've probably heard this before, but it's worth repeating. Because think about it, it's not logical. If you're twisting yourself like a pretzel, doing something that you think people want to see, wearing something that you think they want or whatever, then, with a partner, after how many years are your parents together, it's going to come out who you really are. You're going to revert to what you're comfortable with, without the show. So you might as well just come out the way you are. Some people think they shouldn't present their vulnerabilities if they feel a little insecure or nervous or anything. But I say, let people know that. Well, guys, don't be a total wimp, but, but showing a little bit of vulnerability can be very endearing and show that you're human and make your partner relax that they can be human. And then you can both be your human selves together. Don't draw it out forever. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Then you got to meet that person in person. Because they may not be what... And it's not just the stories of, they're 3 times your weight and they gave some picture when they were 20 years ago, earlier in life, right? It's not just the physical. You've probably heard that. It's not just the physical, but it's how you are with them, and you might be fine doing this back and forth, but when you spend some time with them, and then you find out, oh my goodness, they don't brush their teeth, and they're rude, and they don't open the doors for me, and all kinds of things that you don't find out online, and it might be important to you. And so share more of yourself, and don't be afraid to show enthusiasm and pleasure in someone. It actually is an aphrodisiac. Throw away that hard-to-get thing, as long as it comes from seeing them versus a need to get someone, then there's nothing wrong with showing enthusiasm. As I guess a lot of women these days are more, especially at work, they're more into being in control, and they had to fight hard for that. But when they're in an intimate relationship, it's a little bit different story. So we're talking about letting your feminine side come out more, and just, letting the guy, take the first, letting him order in a restaurant. I remember reading that and I said, "Oops," I'm like, "We'll take over, order everything, proud of it, But if the guy asks you, yeah. But it's that thing about letting him feel like it feels good to lead, attracting across the room. There is a kind of way you can open a door and then let the guy walk through. So how do you even let him know that okay, you can approach a smile? Okay, that's very feminine. And we're not talking about just flash a smile, and then they don't know if you're looking at the person behind them or what. But holding it, like for 6 seconds, And you feel
My skin is crawling. 6 seconds.
It's not just what, vision of a harmonious, well, I would like a harmonious relationship. Well, yeah, we know that's what we're trying to get here, but what specifically do you want me to say or do now or in the future? Saying these things, I feel free, I feel more light, more peaceful, and then I'm like, oh yeah, well, wow, am I like a religious zealot or what? But the difference was that they get, you don't have to go to heaven to get those things. You can get that heaven on earth. And that's probably true, if you've got all that fear and despair, then you are too sad and angry to go into a relationship because it's not sexy. When you trace it back, it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm too broken because at my core, somewhere I got the idea I'm no good. And it can be the simplest thing. It usually happens when you're about this high. And somebody says, you're a pretty stupid kid. And they don't even remember saying it. They were having a bad day, but the kid doesn't understand that. And it gets imprinted, and it's a program that runs their whole. Still have a deep disappointment, even though I still have this deep disappointment about the betrayal of trust. The betrayal of trust. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though this was a betrayal, at least I say so. In my books it was. I'm willing to be curious. About what it was for him. And if he was trying to betray me. If his intention was to betray me. But whether it was or it wasn't, I feel deeply disappointed. Yeah, and I still do. Because it represents a betrayal to me. Disappointment about the betrayal. Letting me down. Betraying my trust. Whatever reason I need to trust. Whatever reason there is that I need to trust. Whatever reason there is. The disappointment in your body that you feel. Probably 3. So I think we're running out of time. But we did go from 8 to 3 without even knowing what the heck happened, which I love this technique because you can do so much with so little. your courage in coming up here and your openness, and you were all able to see how it works without even telling me much. And yeah, thank you so much for doing that.